In this video, we are going to study the valence bond theory in coordinate compounds. Now, what does valence bond theory tell us about coordinate compounds? First of all, we should know what are coordinate compounds. The coordinate compounds consist of transition metal atom or ion, which is surrounded by a number of other atoms, molecules or negatively charged ions. Now, transition metal atom means D block element. Only D block elements form these coordinate compounds. No other S block or P block or F block element can form. Only D block element, the transition metal or ion, form this coordinate compound. Now, what is special about this coordinate compound? This valence bond theory tells us. What it tells us about the bonding in these atoms. Now, how these atoms are bonded together. What is the geometry of this compound now, how they are bonded, and what is their structure, that how these atoms are oriented in space to form such stable compounds which are so important in our life. The properties like magnetic property, whether it's going to be diamagnetic or it's going to be paramagnetic. This whole thing of coordinate compounds is explained by valence bond theory. Now, for bonding, the first concept of valence bond theory, or we can say the first silent feature that valence bond theory tells us about the coordinate compounds. The first thing it tells about the bonding is that first of all, that whether the bond is going to be simple bond, like covalent bond, we know. Taking an example of HCl. Now, here is an hydrogen atom, this is a chloride atom. These are going to combine. How they combine? We know that electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1. And for chlorine, it's 3p5 in the valence orbital. We know that S and P are orbitals, N are the energy levels. We can form this diagrammatically, that the orbital, S orbital, contains one electron, and here the last shown is here, 3p5 is shown, and it contains 5. We know that each orbital can accommodate 2 electrons, and if it accommodates 2 electrons, it is stable. In HCl, we can see if we have hydrogen alone, this will be the configuration, this will be the representation of the orbital S, 1s, we know it's spherical in shape, this is diagrammatical representation of 1s orbital. It contains 1 electron, that means it has a capacity to accommodate 1 more electron. This orbital is half filled because it can accommodate 2 electrons to be fully filled. Similarly here, we know that p orbitals, 3 p orbitals are present, which is px, py and pz. 2 of them are fully filled, 1 is half filled because it contains 1 electron. The diagrammatical representation of p orbital is this, and we can see that out of these 3 p's, only 1 is half filled. It is shown here. Now, to form this bond, what happens in covalent bond? We know that in HCl it is a covalent bond. What happens that these half-filled orbitals partially overlap each other. What happens on overlapping is this. We can see that if we see only one s orbital, we can see that there are 2 electrons now. That means it got fully filled. If we see p orbital, it is also fully filled because it contains 2 electrons. This means that both the orbitals get fully filled on partial overlapping, that means of sharing of electrons. So this is how covalent bond is formed. Now, according to valence bond theory, is this type of bonding present in these coordinate compounds? So the answer was no. This type of bonding is not done here. So because we can see simply that there are so many atoms, this is D block element and these are going to be some different molecules. They can be same or they can be different. Now, first of all, we should know that these molecules or atoms or negatively charged ions are called ligands. These are called ligands which surround the metal atom or ion. This is a transition metal. The number of ligands which surround the metal atom gives coordination number. So this is the number. The number of ligands around the metal atom gives coordinate number. Now, the valence bond theory explained the bonds between these. Now we can explain the type of bonding in these coordinate compounds with an example. Let us take an example of nickel. Nickel is a transition metal atom. We know it's, and we have seen that this complex exists in nature. This is the nickel transition metal atom. This is a negatively charged ion, chloride ion, and this is the whole complex. Now 4 number of chloride ions surround the nickel transition metal atom, and 4 is therefore the coordination number. We can calculate the oxidation state of nickel from here. We will get to know that whether this is an atom or an ion. Let its oxidation state be X. So we can have X. Chloride ion contains -1 charge, so it can be plus of -1. 4 chloride ions are present, so into 4. And this whole complex contains -2 charge on it. So the oxidation state comes to be +2. That means this is nickel ion which contains +2 charge on it. Now, we know that the atomic number of nickel is 28. So its ground state electronic configuration is this. Now here nickel 2 positive is present. That means these two are going to be removed. So the configuration will be this. Now what does valence bond theory says about bonds in transition metal atom? The first feature of valence bond theory which explains the coordinate bonds is that it says that the metal atom is going to provide empty orbitals to the ligands. Now what does it mean? If we show the diagram of the orbitals of nickel 2 positive. Now in this, here is +2 charge, and as we have shown that its electronic configuration is this now. So if we make it like it's going to be 3d8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These two gonna be empty filled because they have one electron. These are half filled. The other 4s, it's gonna be completely unfilled. Obviously the next orbital will be 4p. This is also empty. Now we can see that the first feature of valence bond theory is that the metal atom or ion provides empty orbitals. Now we can see that yes, in this compound, if we say nickel, it contains empty orbitals. I have made 4 empty orbitals because here 4 are the ligands present. So if I'll have 6, then I'll show you the 6 empty orbitals. So here I have taken 4. Now what does valence bond theory says the next? It says that in bonding we have shown in covalent bonds what happened, that the half filled orbitals overlap, as I had shown you an example of HCl, that these half filled orbitals overlap and get fully filled. What happens here is that these are empty orbitals, like I can show you one of the p orbital here. Now this is completely empty orbital. This will gonna overlap with the fully filled orbital of chloride ion. We know that in chloride ion it's gonna be fully filled because it's -1 charge. So the p orbital, the last p orbital of chloride ion is gonna be completely filled. It will be like this. These will be two p orbitals. So they overlap each other. Now this is one p orbital, this is the other p orbital. This was the empty orbital of metal ion. This is the fully filled orbital of the ligand, and they both have overlapped and formed the bond. Now this looks like a simple bond, but what is the difference from the covalent bond? In covalent bonding, it was sharing of electron. One electron was given by the atom A, the other electron was given by the atom B. But what in coordinate bond? In coordinate bond, two electrons are given by the same atom. The other atom does not give any electron in the sharing. So this kind of bonding is seen in coordinate compounds. So this is the main difference of coordinate compounds with the other bonds, the other compounds, the covalent bonds, the ionic bonds, is this only, that in this one atom provides two electrons in the sharing and the other atom does not provide any electron in the sharing. So now one question arises, that we know that s orbital is like this, the p orbital p, x, p, y, p, z, all have different shapes. Now all have different shapes, and chloride ion will provide the same shape p orbital to each of them. Now 4 chloride ions. So we can say that one chloride orbital will provide one fully filled orbital. That orbital of chloride ion which is fully filled is going to overlap with this s orbital and will form one bond. That means one nickel, the nickel will make bond with one chloride ion with this overlap. Now the other chloride atom comes. What will it do? It will provide a fully filled p orbital to this orbital and it will again overlap. So another bond will be formed. Similarly, the other two chloride will come and overlap and the whole bonding will be done. But as this is of different shape, these are also of different shapes, different orientations. So all these 4 bonds will not be gonna be identical. What a layman thinks about coordinate compounds, that if this is happening, then all the bonds will be different. But actually it is not so. Actually all these 4 bonds are identical. Now valence bond theory explains that how all the 4 bonds here in this example are identical. The main concept of valence bond theory which explains the bond. The first type is explained that the bonds are not covalent bonds. They are special bonds called coordinate bonds in which one atom denotes electron pair. Here the chloride is written. The second thing which will gonna explain its geometry as well as the bonding, complete bonding in this coordinate compounds is that hybridization concept. Now we know that in hybridization what happens? Different orbitals of an atom mix together and form a new set of orbitals which are of same shape, size but are in fixed orientations. Now here, what valence bond theory says, how hybridization concept is applied in coordinate compounds is that the empty orbitals of the metal atom are going to mix together to form new set of orbitals. They all are going to hybridize. The empty orbitals are going to hybridize and they will form new set of orbitals which will gonna be of same shape and will have a definite orientation. And these orbitals of same shape are gonna overlap with these chloride ions. So what will happen here? If we see that 1s and 3p orbitals, so that means sp3 hybridization is going to occur. And we know that sp3 hybridization means tetrahedral geometry. Now 4 orbitals will be formed because 4 are remixing. In hybridization the number of orbitals remains same. That means these 4 are going to hybridize and will form the same hybridized orbitals of same shape. Now chloride ions will come and overlap with these same shape and perfectly oriented orbitals and form this complex. So this is how whole geometry, whole bonding in coordinate compounds is explained by valence bond theory. So the first thing, that the metal atom, the first feature of the valence theory says that transition metals are present in the coordinate compounds, and these transition metal atoms provide empty orbitals to the ligands. The second postulate, it says that these empty orbitals are going to hybridize and form a new set of orbitals which are going to be of same shape and perfect orientation. This orientation will be give perfect geometry to this complex, and these empty orbitals will be overlapped with fully filled orbitals of the ligand. The ligand will always have fully filled orbitals and the metal will provide empty orbitals, and this bonding, this special bond, coordinate bond, is formed in coordinate compounds. Now the properties, we can say the magnetic properties. What happens here? We can see that this metal atom have unpaired electrons in the d orbital here. That means unpaired orbitals means paramagnetic property. So this complex is going to have paramagnetic behavior. So this is how whole valence bond theory explains the coordinate compounds, their bonding, their geometry and their properties. But still this theory had some limitations. You can study those limitations in the next video.